Hey everybody, what's going on? It is Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today I'm going to talk to you about my 100 games beyond the 100. Okay, now me and Katie have done these videos before, and basically what that means is I'm going to take a look at games 101 through 200. We're doing our top 100 on the podcast, so I'm going to be doing this part via video just to talk about games, and I'm doing my 100 beyond the 200 in blog form, so we can write about games. So we're going to talk on audio, we're going to be seen on video, and we're going to write about games. So in this video, I'm going to talk about games 200 to 199. And without further ado, let's get going. All right, so the first one that I'm going to talk about today is number 300, or number 200, sorry, a lot of numbers. And that game is called Clue, the Great Museum Caper. Now, this is a game where it's set in the Clue universe. That sounds really dumb to say, but it's set in the Clue universe. And what that means is it has Clue characters. But basically what this is like a Scotland Yard type game where players are going to take on the role of one of the characters. You can see the pawns on the board here. And someone's going to be moving around the board hidden movement, like Scotland Yard or whatever. Everyone else is trying to figure out where they are before they can get these paintings, steal them, and get so many out of the museum. Okay? That's effectively it. There's a die that you're going to be rolling that's going to help the players who are not the hidden guy or hidden girl to do things. You got cameras. You can ask questions. Here's what the paper looks like. The person who's hidden uses this paper to track their movement because they're not on the board. But this is a really fun game. It's pretty simple. It can play a ton of players too, which is pretty nice. And I just enjoy it. It's a really good, fun time. I've rated it an 8. It's from 1991. It's old. It's busted. But for my money, this is a fantastic game. So my number 200, Clue, the Great Museum Caper. All right, so my number 199 is a deck building game and adventuring game from Eagle Gryphon, and it's called Fantastica. This is the rucksack version that I have. It just means it's like a smaller box, I think. I don't know the difference. But effectively, it is a deck building game. But the interesting thing about this is, one, the theme. The theme is you are these little kids, and you're imagining that you're fighting these monsters, and you're using like toothbrushes, chicken legs, sticks as like wands and baseball bats, and I forget, brooms and all that kind of thing. And you're moving around this map. Let me see if I can find the map. And so say I'm here. You can see that there's a character here. So say I want to move to here. To get cards, you have to defeat them. Let's look at this a little bit bigger. If I can get it bigger. So to defeat cards, you have to beat them. So if I wanted to move from here to here, I need to play 2 cards that are goats. 2 goat cards to be able to defeat this bear. Then I would take this bear and it goes into my discard pile, kind of like acquiring it. And then any gems that are on it, I would score. They do special things. The cards do a bunch of funky different things. And then this card will be used later as 2 bats, chicken legs, that you can use to fight. And you're trying to visit these different locations to activate these monuments. You have different quests that you're trying to do by see, there's a quest in the middle here. Let me see if I can get it over. There's a quest in the middle here, so I need to put cards that equal 3 chicken legs and 2 water buckets. If I can do that, I score 4 quest points. And the whole point of the game is you're trying to get enough quest points to win the game. Based on the number of players, it's how many quests you have to complete. It's kind of funky. It's kind of convoluted. The theme is weird. A lot of people don't really like it because it's strange, but I enjoy it. So it's my list. So there we go. So my number 1, whatever this is, 199 is Fantastica. All right, so 198 is a game that I honestly haven't played in a long time. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. It has an awesome theme, and it's called Hawaii. And the theme is Hawaii, kind of. You're taking on the role of these leaders of the tribes. Again, it's been a long time, so probably why it's so low. But you're taking on the leader of these tribes, and you are trying to move around this map here, obtain these tiles, and you're trying to basically build this tableau in front of you. There's also some ships that you can acquire. These are the feet that you have to get the movement. There's other kind of goods. There's more to it than that, but you're moving around this map trying to get different ways to score points, building up a tableau in front of you, and just trying to make the best out of the actions that you can. Again, that was a terrible undersell of what the game is. It's a fantastic game. I like it. I'd love to play it more, but because I haven't played it in a long time, I'd have to relearn it, and it doesn't look the greatest on the table, so not a lot of people want to play it. So anyway, that's all I really had to say about that one. It's a fantastic game. Underrated in my opinion. I mean, I have it rated pretty lowly too, so really don't know what I'm talking about there. But that's my 198, and that is Hawaii. Okay, so 197 is actually a card game that I've played a ton. I mean, a mess of it. So much of this game. Not this version, but the game is called Scout. And this is a little card game. This is the version I have right here. The new one has like a circus theme. Who cares? It doesn't need a theme. It's a card game. The interesting thing about this game is the cards have, you can see right there, those are all the ones, but on the other side of the card, there's other numbers. And what you're trying to do is you're going to be dealt some cards. However they're dealt is how the order they have to stay. At the very beginning of your turn, you can either use the numbers that are up or you can flip all the cards over and use that number. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to play combinations of cards. See, this player played 2 5s. Then going to the player to your left, they either have to play a higher, either 2 6s or a higher run of cards. Okay, so if they play 2 6s, or in this case, they played the 7, 8, and 9, they would be good. And they would take those 2 5s, put them into their scoring pile. Every card you get is worth a point. If you can't play, you can scout. That's the point of the game. You can scout one of the outside cards in the cards that were previous, that are still on the table when it comes to you. The person you scout from gets a point. And then you can put that card that you scout either way. So if I scouted one of these, I could take a 5 or a 9, either side I want to, and put it anywhere in my hand that I want. So that's kind of a way to break up the cards that you're stuck with from the beginning. You can scout and make better runs in your hand. The goal of the game is you want to run out of cards, because if you have cards left in your hand, you lose points. You want to get the most points by playing. You want to run out of cards. And by the end, I think however many rounds there are as players, I believe, whoever has the most points is the winner. It's super fun, super simple. It's kind of, some of the rules can get a little weird, like what beats what. But once you played it a couple times, it's pretty simple after all that. But yeah, this is a fantastic card game. This orange one, the orange version here from Oink, I think, is available at Target. It's in like a, not this nice little Oink box, but it's in like a, what is it? One of those boxes that hangs up, so it doesn't look too great, but it's the same game. I would say if you can find it and you like cool card games, give this a go. So I love this game. It's fantastic. That's why it's my number 197, Scout. 196, we are kicking it old school, and we're going back to, when are we going back to? 1975, and this game is called Bermuda Triangle. Now, this might have even been in my top 100, or maybe it's been in the 100 or 200 forever. I know I've talked about it. This is basically a roll and move game, okay? So nothing great there, but let me talk about some stuff that's awesome. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get your boats from one port to another. When you get to a port, you're going to get to pick up some goods of that port, and they're basically money. You're basically picking up and selling all at the same time. You're trying to get a certain amount of money. I think $250,000 of goods. So you're moving along these white paths. If you hit someone else's boat, they go back to the previous dock. That's all well and good. The interesting thing is this Bermuda Triangle thing that's in the middle here. After every turn, or every round, I can't remember, I haven't played it for a minute, that thing is going to move. You're going to spin a spinner. Let me see if I can find the spinner here. Probably not, but you're going to, oh, there we go. You're going to spin this spinner right here, and it's going to tell you which direction you're going to be moving the Bermuda Triangle. So, for example, they're moving it south 10 F. So they're going to move it south. So south, and it's going to go 10 F. Where is 10? Yeah, so you're going to find all those other coordinates on the board and you're going to move it. So you're going to move this. Oh, yeah, right there. So you're going to spin it. So F is facing south, and you're going to move it 10 south. Okay. Then, if any of these boats are under it, there's magnets under this thing. If any of this thing passes over boats, it will suck up your boats. If all your boats get sucked up, you lose. You're out of the game. So you're trying to, yes, get from port to port, but you're also trying to move your boat strategically to try to stay as far away from this Bermuda Triangle as possible, because this thing is a mess. It's super fun. It's just a roll and move, but man, for my money, this is one of the greatest gimmicks in games of all time. Is the triangle here? I love it. Just this could just spin. Like, say this red boat was right here. If this thing spins enough, it could suck up the boat without even moving. And I mean, that's crazy. This game is fantastic. It's kind of tricky to find because people like it. So it's a little bit pricier than some of these other games. 5.6 is stupid. People on Board Game Geek really love the smell of their own farts, and they like to, anything that's not a new hotness hobby game, they like to rate poorly. And that is ridiculous. This is a fantastic game. It's a ton of fun. Yes, it might not be the greatest game in the world. I acknowledge that. But games can also be rated on the amount of fun that you have. And I've had so much fun playing this game. The triangle is tense. And, I'm almost talking myself into rating this thing higher. That's how much I love this. So this is a fantastic game. I love it. It's my number, 196 Bermuda Triangle. Number 195 is a game that we have played a ton since we picked it up at Origins this year, I believe, 2024. And it is Sausage Sizzle. It's an older game, but 25th Century just brought it out. It says it's from 2012, but I just got it this year, so it's new to me. And effectively, all this game is, let me pull up some pictures. I'll pull this up, and I'll tell you how to play it. All you're doing is rolling these 8 dice, okay? The 4 orange dice have pips and 1 sausage. They go 1 to 5, or 0. Sausage with 2 instances of 5. There's no 6. And then the other white dice are all of the animals. There's 6 different animals that you're trying to get. Now, what you're going to do is on your turn, you're going to roll the dice. You have to lock one of the dice, which means if I roll all 8 of those, I have to pick one to set aside. I can pick more, but I have to pick one. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the highest value pip of your lowest pips. So say I rolled all those orange ones and I had 3 3s and a 4. Well, I have 3 because 3 is my lowest pip. Okay, the lowest value of pip that I have. Then I'm trying to take that number times the number of animals. So say I rolled 3 of the armadillo. I would take 3 times 3, and I would have 9 points for that round. Now, the interesting thing here is if you ever roll a sausage, 3 or less sausages, your score is 1. So it would be 1 times the number of animals. But if you roll 4 sausages, which is called a sausage sizzle, you get 7 points per animal. So a little bit of push your luck here where you're trying to get the highest low value of orange, but you're also trying to get sausages, 4 sausages to be exact, to make as many points as possible. And you're going to score each of these animals 1 time. So 6 rounds, that's the end of the game. And there you go. So very simple game, but a ton of fun. We played it a ton of times. It's one of those games where you can just kind of hang out, chuck some dice, and have some fun. And, everyone's going to enjoy it. So there you go. So that's my number 195, Sausage Sizzle. Number 194 is a game where we picked it up at Target. It's from Buffalo Games. We bought a lot of these games for a while, and we still enjoy them. And this game is called Summer Camp. And this is actually a deck building game from Phil Walker Harding, who I'm a huge fan of. He does a lot of simple-ish family weight games, and this is no exception. This is just a deck building game where players are at a summer camp, and you're trying to play cards to basically move up these tracks. That's not a very great picture. Let's see. See what we got on the next one, if it would go. Let's check this. All right, so you're basically playing cards from your deck to move your little character up these paths. If you get past certain thresholds, you get, I forget what they're called, badges, like camp badges. And if you make it all the way up to the top of the track, you get another badge. You're trying to do that first so you can get the most points. So normal deck building rules, you're going to start with these junky cards. You're going to have some always available cards that you can buy. And then in these 3 different decks out of, I think, 6. You're going to pick 3, and you're going to be specific cards to that type of event, like outdoor games, water games, cooking, that kind of thing. And then those cards are going to help you move up on tracks, get more cards, do a whole bunch of other things to help you do the best that you can in this game. It's a pretty simple deck building game, but it's a ton of fun. And anybody can play this. It's a welcoming theme. It's not a theme that's going to turn somebody off unless you truly hate camp or you had a bad experience, or you were at like Camp Crystal Lake and you know how that all went down. But as a general rule, it's probably going to be a fine theme, and people can just play it and enjoy it. So I like this game. I don't play it a ton anymore because there are other ones that I would rather play, but I do enjoy it. So my number 194, Summer Camp. Number 193 is a bingo style game called Tiny Towns. Now, bingo style, what's that mean? If you know what bingo is, it's where you have these little daubers and you're marking on BINGO 1 through like 75 numbers or something. Someone yells out a number, everybody who has that number marks it. Same vibe here. Someone's going to call out either a color of cube, or if you're playing a variant, you can flip a card and everybody has to use that card. And you're going to pick a color of a cube, and everybody has to take that color of a cube and put it on one of their spaces on their little player board here. See? And what you're trying to do, so say someone said red, they put a red here. What you're trying to do is you're trying to put cubes in these patterns to build these buildings to score points and to get special abilities to help you score more points. That's the game. It's lightning fast. There are a couple expansions, which I don't have, but I haven't played them, but it's a super simple game to play. Everybody has to do the same thing. There are certain buildings that will let you hold some tiles on top of them, or hold some cubes on top of them. So if you don't want to place it, you can just put it there and it's like it never happened. You're trying to fill up your board because if you have spaces left over, you're going to lose points. Yeah, everything about this game I love. It's super fun. I have a great time, and it's rated 446 for a reason, because it's a good game. So my number 193, Tiny Towns. $192 is actually a game that I've only played, I think, one time, but I like it, and that is Tang Garden. And this is a game, effectively an abstract game, where you're flipping a tile and you're building this garden here. Okay, you can see all this awesome stuff on it. But the way that you're going to be doing this is you're going to be placing tiles. You're going to be then placing trees on them, putting some fish in the water, and you're going to have these little figures, either miniatures or meeples, that you want to get in the garden looking at things. That's basically it. You're going through a walk in this garden and you want to see things on your walk. You want to see the landscapes here. You want to see different things. Maybe want to see a tree. Maybe you want to see some fish. That's it. So you're trying to place tiles. You're trying to put things out on these tiles. You're trying to get your people in the perfect spot for you to see the things you want to see to score points. That's it. That doesn't sound like a ton of fun, but the game is a ton of fun. My explanation is probably pretty terrible. That's what the game is. You can see they're building the board here. These are what the minis look like. Painted. Those are nice. But yeah, this is I think part of the appeal is it looks amazing on the table. Like when all that stuff is built up, it just looks fantastic. Like that first picture I showed you was freaking amazing. So yeah, I like this game. I rated it a 9. That's probably a little high. I'd probably go down. I don't think it's a 9 game. I'm not going to change it now, but it's a solid game. I think it was a 9 because I was enamored with the way it looked, and I really had a great time playing it. It was a fun experience. So again, that's what I want in a game. I want to have fun, and this game does that. So my number 192, Tang Garden. My number 191, and the last one in this section, is Order of the Gilded Compass. And this is a game, one of the first games that I bought, and I have no idea why. It's a re-implementation of an old Alia game, Alia Iacta Est, something like that, which is about a bathroom in Rome. I don't know. But this is a game it's like an archaeology themed game. And what you're trying to do is you're basically rolling dice. Let's look at this picture. This one might give you a good idea. You're basically rolling dice, and you're trying to put these dice in certain patterns on these different tiles to get things. So for example, this one needs runs of dice. So you can see there, you need runs. So this player played 3 5s. In order for someone else to go there, they have to play either a higher number of 3-run, so a 3-6 run, or a higher number of dice in any number. Okay. And then whoever at the end of the round, whoever has the highest will get first pick at these tiles. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get locations to dig. You're trying to get an archaeologist and a cartographer, I think, of the same color to match them to score extra points. You're trying to go deep sea diving to get some of these treasures. You're trying to get some like hidden artifacts. You're maybe trying to get some scoring goals. There's like 5 or 6 different tiles that you're doing. Basically, you're just trying to use your dice the best that you can to get these different ways to score points. So you're trying to, over I think 5 or 6 rounds, you're trying to just do better than everybody else. You're rolling dice. You don't really get to re-roll them a ton. I mean, each round you get to re-roll them, but you're going to roll, and if you have some re-roll tokens, you can re-roll some dice. But normally whatever you roll, you're stuck with, and you're trying to make the best of those rolls. Each round, you'll get a roll. So if I rolled all my dice, when it comes back around to me, I can roll them again. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I enjoy playing this thing. I like Yahtzee. I like games where I get to chuck dice. I like just playing fun games, collecting sets, which is kind of what this game is. It's a set collection game. So you can see there's the location, an orange location with an orange cartographer, an orange archaeologist or digger, and you get so many points if you don't have them matched, but you get higher points if you have both the people matching. It's such a good game. If you haven't played it, I would recommend it. It would probably be higher if I played it more, like a lot of these games, but it's a good time. So that is my number 191 order of the Gilded Compass. Okay, so those were my numbers 200 through 199 on the 100 Beyond the 100, or also known as the top 200 to 101. I don't know how often I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do it weekly, maybe more. We're going to try to do the podcast weekly. Good luck. You know how we roll. I'm going to do blogs whenever I want to, but by the time we get to number 1 on the podcast, I'm going to hope to have all these other things going along with it, and also kind of doing, so they all end around the same time. Okay. So I'm going to basically be timing it out the podcast because that's the easiest way. So yeah, stick around. I'll have way more of these videos, at least 10 more or 9 more. There's going to be 10 sections. Maybe Katie will chime in for some, maybe not. I don't know. But either way, I'll keep banging them out. Go to the website. You can check out, there's 2 blogs on there already. One of all the games above 300. I rated like 346. So there's just a dump of 46 games. And then the first 300 to 291 is also posted over there. So if you're interested in that, check it out. If not, just watch this and have fun with it. And I'll keep talking about games. So there you go. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics. And as always, keep gaming.